Good morning, students. Today here we are here to complete the question answer of chapter 8, that is friction. Students, in last classes we have discussed about some questions given in this chapter. So today we are going to complete all the question answer of this chapter. So try to take your book for write your questions, and then answer will reflect on your screen. You can write from there. If you have written, you can make sure that your answer are correct. Okay, so let's start with the question number 1, chapter 8. Sorry, let's start with question number 1, class 8 science, chapter 12, that is friction. So you can see the question number 1 is shown on the screen, that is fill in the blanks. You can see here friction opposes the, now you have to fill in the blanks here, between the surfaces in contact with each other. So friction opposes the relative motion. You can see here the answer is relative motion. By definition of friction, friction opposes the relative motion between the surfaces in contact with each other. Okay, so this is the answer of the first question, that is this one is the first question. Now take your copy and pen and note it down. First note down this question and then use underline and fill here the relative motion. The explanation is given here. By definition of friction, friction opposes the relative motion between the surfaces in contact with each other. So this is the answer. Now we are ready to complete the question number B, that is also the fill in the blanks. So you can see here the question is friction depends on, and now fill in the blanks of surfaces. So answer is nature. So you can see here friction depends on the nature of surfaces. Okay, so you can see here the answer number B. Okay, so fill in the blanks, that is nature. The friction depends on the nature of the surfaces in contact. Okay, so you can see here the nature means the roughness, the smoothness of the surface. If surface is rough, then roughness will be high, friction will be high. If surface is smooth, then friction will be low. So this is meaning of the nature of the surfaces. So it is written here that friction depends on the nature of the surfaces. So let me erase things and I am going to underline the points which you have to write in your copy. So you can see here that this is the second question, and question is friction depends on the surfaces. You can see here. Then the answer is nature. Nature means here the roughness and the smoothness. So if surface is rough, then friction will be high. If surface is smooth, friction will be less. So you can see here friction depends on the nature of the surfaces. Solution: friction depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. Okay, let's see the point C, that is friction produces. So you have to fill in the blanks here. Friction produces, solution is heat. So friction produces heat. Answer is given here. If surfaces of different bodies in contact are sliding with each other, due to friction, heat will be generated. So you can see here, if surfaces of different bodies in contact are sliding with each other, then due to friction, heat will generated. So this is the answer of question number C, that is friction produces, and then fill in the blanks is there. So you have to feel the heat. Okay, and answer why it is heat, then that answer is given here. Surfaces of different bodies in contact are sliding with each other. Due to friction, heat will be generated. Okay, so I hope you are continuously writing your copy, because the answers are very important, and you must have also good words to write these answer in correct manner. So try to note down in your copy, and try to study every day. Means try to repeat many times, then you will be able to write the answers in your own words. But for that you must need some good words, like you can see here heat, uh, you can see here heat generated, sliding, different. So you must need some good words to write the good answer. Okay, so we continue and keep practicing for writing. Let's see the next one. This is the question: the sprinkling of powder on carom board, powder, sorry, the sprinkling of powder on carom board, then you have to feel here something, and then friction. Now we have to fill the correct answer, that is reduces. So the sprinkling of powder on the carom board reduces friction. This is the answer. Now you can see here lubricants reduces friction between the surfaces. So note it down in your copy. Okay, pause the video and note it down in your copy. Now next question is E. Sliding friction is than the static friction. You have to feel here. So the answer is less. So sliding friction is less than the static friction. It is relatively easy to push an object which is motion than setting motion of stationary object. तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं स्लाइडिंग फ्रिक्शन जो है वो लेस होता है स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन से, और किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को जो कि ऑलरेडी मोशन में है उसको पुश करना इजी है एज कम्पेयर टू किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को मोशन में लाना ये डिफ़िकल्ट है. सो द स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन इज ग्रेटर देन द स्लाइडिंग फ्रिक्शन. आई एम सेइंग द सेम थिंग इन डिफरेंट वर्ड. You can write that sliding friction is less than static friction, or you can write static friction is greater than the sliding friction. The two statements give the same meaning. Okay, so let me repeat: sliding friction is less than the static friction, or static friction is greater than the sliding friction. So if you know about this, you can write the questions of different if questions are given in different statement, you can also give the correct answer. Okay, so try to understand the concept. Okay, now you can see here four children were asked to arrange forces due to rolling, static, sliding, friction in decreasing order. Their arrangements are given below. Then choose the correct arrangement. Okay, so you have to choose the correct arrangement. There are different types of frictions are given in the statements A, B, C, and D, and you have to choose the correct statement in decreasing order. It means first we need the maximum friction, then quite less, and after that the least. Okay, so let's see. The first option is here, rolling. According to this option, rolling is maximum, then static, and the minimum is sliding. According to this statement, means according to this option. But in reality this is not true, because we know that rolling is not the largest or max friction. B, again rolling is given here. It means this option is also not correct. In sliding and static, it is also not correct. Let's see the C. You can see here C, static, sliding, and rolling. Yes, This is correct. You can see here the static friction is maximum, then sliding, and the list is rolling. So this one is correct option. You can see here the solution is given here, C, and the explanation is also mentioned here. So if you have noted that option number C is correct, then let's note the explanation of the answer. You can see here the static friction is greater than the sliding friction. Due to this reason, it is relatively easy to push an object which is in motion rather than the static motion of the same object. Now rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction. Due to this reason, it is easy to pull luggage with wheel than pulling the same luggage without wheel. So you can see here the answer of this question, that is option number C, and the explanation is given here. So you can write down, this is the explanation. Okay, so try to complete this answer. Let's see the next one. Elida runs her toy car on dry marble floor, wet marble floor, and newspaper and towel spread on floor. The force of friction acting on the car in different surfaces in increasing order will be. So you have to write down the force in increasing order. So you can see this is the question. Read out the question by yourself and try to understand the meaning of question. That is, you have to write down the increasing the frictional force in increasing order. So the minimum force, you can see the option number A, that is wet marble floor, then dry, then newspaper, and then towel. Second case, the newspaper, towel, dry marble, and wet marble. C, towel, newspaper, dry marble, wet marble, and fourth, wet marble, dry marble, towel, newspaper. Now you should find out in which case the friction is maximum and minimum. Okay, and we should start from the least to greatest. Okay, so let's see, and the answer is option number A. You can see here the wet marble floor has minimum friction, then dry marble floor, then newspaper, and the maximum friction is in case of the towel. So this is correct option. Answer, or you can say explanation, is given here. Friction depends on the surfaces in contact. Surfaces with more irregular surface will experience more friction. Arrangements in increasing order of irregularity is wet marble floor, dry marble floor, newspaper, and towel. So you can also say that wet marble floor had minimum irregularities, then dry marble floor, newspaper, and towel has very high irregularities. Question number 4. Suppose your writing desk is tilted a little. A book kept on, it starts sliding down, then so that the direction of the friction on this surface. For this question, you can draw this diagram. You can see here, this is your desk, it is tilted, and then a book is placed on that tilted surface. Now if book slides downward, then friction is always opposite to the motion, that is upward, and tangential to the surface of the tilted desk. Okay, so this you can draw this diagram. This is the answer of this question, that is question number 4. So you can see here, this is the question, and you can write down the answer by seeing your screen. The answer is clear on your screen. You can draw this diagram. This diagram is your answer. Okay, so complete your answer. Try to write down in your copy. Now the next question is question number 5. This one. You spill a bucket of soapy water on marble floor accidentally. Would it make it easier or more difficult for you to walk on the floor, and why? So this is the question. Let me tell you the answer. So if you want to write the question, you can write down the question from here. You can pause your video and write down the question number 5. Now we are going to discuss the answer of this question, that is question number 5. So let's see what is the answer. So this is the solution is given here. While walking, when your feet push the ground backward, the floor pushes us in the forward direction. Friction plays the most important role in this process. When you spill a bucket of soapy water on marble floor, friction between your feet and your floor decreases, and the force responsible for pushing you forward weakens. Therefore, it becomes more difficult for you to walk on the floor. So this is very interesting answer of the same question. That is question number 4. And someone can fall down if the friction is very less between the feet and the surface. So in this way, if you consider if soapy water is spilled on surface and someone is trying to walk on that surface, then in that case the friction between feet and the surface will be very less and he will fall down. So this is the answer of the question. You should note it down in your copy. You can see here in quite large text, and this is the answer of the question number 5. So try to note it down in your copy. Okay, let's see the next question, that is question number 6. Explain why sportsman uses shoe with spikes. Okay, the solution is given here. While walking, our feet push the ground backward, the floor pushes us in forward direction. Okay, so when we try to move, we push the ground backward and the floor pushes us in forward direction. In this, the friction plays the most important role in the process, and sportsman uses shoe with spikes to increase the interlocking of the surface in contact. Okay, so if we will able to interlock the surfaces with using the spikes of shoes, then there will be less possibility of slipping and the grip will be very high. So you can see here, which in turn increase the friction and gives them a better grip. Okay, so this is the answer of question number 6. So this one is the question and you should write this is the answer is given here. This one is the answer. Okay, so the complete answer is reflected on your screen. You should try to write down in your copy, because these answers will help you during examination when you have less time to revise your whole syllabus. If you have written answers, you can revise the things quickly and you will be able to write the answer in proper manners. Okay, so try to note it down in your copy. Now we are ready to solve the next question or give the next answer of next question. The question is, Iqbal has to push a lighter box and Seema has to push a similar heavier box on the same floor. who will have to apply the larger force and why? So you can see the answer is reflected on the screen. This is the answer. Friction depends on the weight of the object. A heavier object will experience more friction because the surface will press harder, which will result in a greater interlocking of the irregularities of surface in contact. Thus, we will require larger force to move the heavier object. Okay, so students, if you put a heavy object on a surface, it will interlock surface very strongly. Okay, and it is very difficult to move this object on the surface because interlocking in this case is very strong. So we say generally that if weight is large, then friction is large. Okay, so if object is lighter, then friction is also lighter because interlocking is quite less in case of lighter object on the surface. So this is the reason of the answer. The correct answer is Seema has to push harder, or you can say Seema has to apply very high force as compared to Iqbal to move the object because the weight of the Seema's box is very high or very large, so you have to apply large force. So you can see this is the question and the answer is here. So note down your answer in your copy. Next question is, explain why sliding friction is less than static friction. So the answer, when the irregularities between two contact surfaces get interlocked, it results in resistance known as friction. In sliding friction, the time for which the surfaces are in contact are very small, and therefore the interlocking of irregularities does not create much resistance. A less force is required to overcome the resistance. Sliding motion is less than the static friction. Sliding friction is less than the static friction. So the explanation is given here. The question number 8 is why sliding friction is less than static friction. So let's see once again. When the irregularities between two contact surfaces get interlocked, it results in resistance known as friction. In sliding friction, the time for which the surfaces are in contact are very small. Therefore, interlocking of irregularities does not create much resistance, as less force is required to overcome this resistance. Then sliding friction is less than the static friction. This is your answer. Okay. So now you can see the question number 8 and its solution on the screen. This one is the question, this is the solution. So try to note down, this is in your copy. Okay. Okay. Pause your video and note it down. Let's see the next question. So you can see the question is, give example to show that friction is both friend and foe. So solution is here. Friction as a friend. Let's see in which cases friction is friend. First one is, friction help us in walking. Yes. So if someone help us, then we consider them as a friend. So friction help in walking. So friction is a friend. Second, we are able to write with a pen on a paper due to friction. So yes, it is our requirement. We need to write something on a paper, then it is friction due to it, which make it possible. Means due to friction we are able to write something by using pen on a paper. So in this case also it helps us and it is our friend. Let's see the next case. That is friction as a foe, enemy. Okay, so let's see the point A. Friction leads to loss of energy as heat. Yes, we don't want waste our energy at any cost, but due to friction it is uh, lost in form of heat many times or always, you can say. So in this case friction plays very uh, you can say it behaves like a foe for us, because due to this friction we are continuously wasting our energy in different cases. Means if you are using different machines and friction is high, then energy waste very high. But even if you are using different types of lubricant but there is some friction, so we lost some amount of energy there. So friction plays a role like a foe in this case. Now the second case is because of friction the tires and soles of shoe wear out. तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं फ्रिक्शन की वजह से जो टायर और सोल्स होते हैं शू के वो वियर आउट हो जाते हैं. तो ये भी एक यहाँ पे फ्रिक्शन वो जैसा बिहेव करता है. नाउ 1 minute. So you can see the question number 9 here. This is the question number 9. Try to note down in your copy. Solution: friction as a friend is reflected here. Pause your video and note it down. And the friction as a foe is reflected here. Pause your video and note it down. Okay. Now we are ready to write down the answer of question number 10. Explain why object moving in fluid must have special shapes. So you can see here the solution is given. As it happens between the ground and the feet, a body moving through fluid also experiences an opposing force called drag force. That depends on the nature of the surface and the shape of the body. By giving objects special shapes, this drag force can be minimized. So you can see here the solution is given. Explain why objects moving in fluids must have special shapes. So answer of this question is here. Due to special shapes they experience least friction force. Okay. And so that we lost the least amount of energy during their motion. So it is the most important part, or you can say this is the reason why the objects which are moving through fluids give special cases. Okay. So students, question number 10 is here, and you can pause your video and note down this is the question and answer is given here. It is completely reflected on your screen. So I hope you have done all these questions and their answers in your copy. Okay. And try to revise this question answer. It will help you to use this concept in your daily life. Then you can write the answers of these questions in your examination, and it will also help you to revise your exercise of this chapter in very short interval of time. So if you have the notes, it will help you many ways. Okay. So dear students, keep studying. Okay. And continuously try to revise the different chapters which we have already done. Okay. And in next session we will start the next chapter, that is chapter 13. Okay. And we will complete first the activities and the theoretical concept. Actually the concept are given in that chapter, and then finally we will complete the exercise as we are continuously doing in different chapters. Okay. So if you get some time, try to read chapter number 13 by yourself. It will also help you to understand the concept and you will be able to ask the your confusions in next session. Okay, so thank you for watching, thank you for joining this session. If there is any doubt in any question, you can ask anytime. Okay, thank you for joining this session.